Hello, and welcome to the Speed English YouTube channel. I'm Maya, and in this episode, I have something special for you. We're going to learn and practice English with the story. But don't worry, we're not reading the full book. This is a summarized version of the story. That means it is short, simple, and perfect for language learning. The story you will hear today is called Treasure Island. My friend and colleague Richard will narrate it for you slowly and clearly. Here is what we will do today. First, you will hear the story slowly, using simple words. Then, I will teach you important vocabulary from the story. I will explain each word in a clear and simple way. And finally, you will practice shadowing. You can pause, repeat, or even write down what you hear. So, get ready. This is Treasure Island, told just for English learners. A long time ago, in a quiet village by the sea, there was a small inn called the Admiral Benbow. A young boy named Jim Hawkins lived there with his parents. Life at the inn was simple and peaceful. Only a few travelers stayed there, and nothing exciting ever happened. Until one day, everything changed. An old sailor came to the inn. He was tall, strong, and looked rough. He had a deep scar on his face. He didn't talk much, but he always looked nervous. Every morning, he walked to the top of the hill near the sea with a telescope. He looked out across the water, as if he were watching for someone. He drank too much rum, and he sang old pirate songs. The songs scared the other guests. His name was Billy Bones. Billy told Jim to watch for a sailor with one leg. He gave Jim a silver coin every month to keep an eye out. Jim didn't understand why Billy was afraid, but he knew the sailor was hiding from someone. One day, a blind man came to the inn. His name was Pew, and he was even scarier than Billy. He gave Billy something called the black spot, a pirate sign of danger and death. Billy turned very pale and looked terrified. A few minutes later, he collapsed and died. His heart simply gave out. After Billy's death, Jim and his mother opened Billy's small box to find the money he owed them. Inside, they found coins from many different countries, but they also found something much more important, a map. It was a treasure map. It showed the place where the famous pirate Captain Flint had hidden his gold long ago. Jim took the map to Dr. Livesey, a kind and clever doctor, and to Squire Trelawney, a wealthy landowner. The three of them made a plan. They would sail across the sea and search for the treasure. And so, their great adventure began. Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney hired a ship called the Hispaniola. It was a strong and beautiful ship, ready for a long sea voyage. They also found a captain to lead the trip. His name was Captain Smollett. He was very strict, but he was also fair and honest. Jim was allowed to join the ship's crew as a cabin boy. He was very excited. He had never been on a ship before, and he felt proud to be part of the adventure. One of the men working on the ship was Long John Silver. He was hired as the cook. He had only one leg, and he walked with a wooden crutch. But he moved quickly and always had a smile on his face. He was smart, friendly, and full of funny sea stories. He also had a green parrot on his shoulder that kept saying, "Pieces of 8, pieces of 8. At first, everyone liked Silver. He told jokes and helped everyone. But soon, Jim discovered a terrible secret. One day, Jim was hiding inside a barrel on the ship. While he was hiding, he heard Silver talking to some of the other men. Jim found out that Silver and many of the crew were actually pirates. They had a plan. They would wait until the treasure was found. Then, they would take over the ship and keep the treasure for themselves. Jim felt very scared, but he stayed quiet and listened carefully. Later, he told Captain Smollett and the other honest men. Now they knew the truth. Many of the crew were dangerous. They had to be very careful and prepared to defend themselves. After many days at sea, the ship finally arrived at Treasure Island. The island was green, wild, and very quiet. There were trees, hills, rocks, and secret caves. It looked calm, but Jim and his friends knew there could be danger. Some of the crew went to the island right away. Jim went with them, but soon he wandered off alone into the forest. While he was walking, he met a strange man named Ben Gunn. Ben had once been a pirate, but his pirate friends had left him alone on the island. He had lived there for 3 years, eating berries and goats. Ben was a little strange, but he was also kind and friendly. He told Jim a very important secret. He had already found Captain Flint's treasure, and he had hidden it in a safe place. Ben said he would help Jim and the others, but only if they promised to take him home after the adventure. While this was happening, things became worse on the island. Long John Silver and the other pirates took control of the ship. They also wanted the treasure map, but Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, Squire Trelawney, and the other loyal men moved into an old wooden fort on the island. There, they stayed safe and prepared to fight back. Soon, a battle began. The pirates attacked the wooden fort with guns and swords. They tried to steal the map, but the loyal men were strong, smart, and brave. They defended the fort, and they refused to give up the treasure. Then Jim did something very brave. He found a small boat. He quietly returned to the Hispaniola. There, he fought a dangerous pirate, and he won. He took control of the ship and moved it to a safe place, far away from the pirates. Later, Jim returned to the fort and told his friends everything he had done. Together, they continued their fight against the pirates. Silver tried to act friendly again. He changed sides and wanted to stay safe, but Jim and the others no longer trusted him. At last, the pirates used the map and went to the place where they believed the treasure was hidden. They dug and dug, but they found nothing. The treasure was gone. They had been tricked. They did not know that Ben Gunn had already found the treasure and hidden it in a cave. Some pirates gave up. Some ran into the forest and were never seen again. Others were too weak to continue fighting. In the end, the good men had won. They were tired, but they were safe. And now they finally knew where the real treasure was hidden. They found gold, silver, jewels, and coins from many different parts of the world. There was more treasure than they had ever imagined. It was so much that they had to carry it back to the ship in many trips. Soon, they were ready to leave the island. A few pirates were left behind. Some pirates had died, and others had escaped into the forest. Long John Silver was still with them. Sometimes he helped them, but he also lied and tricked them. Then one night, while everyone was sleeping, Silver disappeared. He took one small bag of treasure with him, and he was never seen again. The ship sailed back to England. Jim and his friends were safe, and now they were rich. But Jim felt different. He had gone on a great adventure. He had seen danger, greed, and death. He had learned about bravery, friendship, and trust. He was no longer just a young boy. He had grown up. Okay, it's Maya here again from the Speed English YouTube channel. Now, let's go over some of the best vocabulary from today's pirate adventure. These words will help you understand stories better. and they will help you sound more natural when you speak English. I will say the word, explain it simply, give you a real-life example, and then we will say it together. Shadowing time. Ready? Great. Let's go. The first phrase is by the sea. This means near the ocean or next to the coast. Example: they built a small cottage by the sea. Now repeat after me. They lived by the sea. The inn was by the sea. Excellent. The second word is inn. An inn is a small hotel. It is often quiet, old, and cozy. Example: we stayed at a little inn during our road trip. Now repeat. Let's rest at an inn. Great job. The third word is rough. When someone looks rough, they look tough or wild, not neat, not clean. Example: the sailor looked rough, with messy hair and old clothes. Now repeat, he looked rough and scary. That man has a rough voice. Excellent. The fourth word is scar. A scar is a mark on the skin after a cut or injury heals. Example: she has a small scar on her knee from when she fell. Now repeat, he has a scar on his face. Very good. The next word is nervous. Nervous means feeling worried or afraid that something bad might happen. Example: I feel nervous before speaking in public. Now repeat, Jim looked nervous. She felt nervous before the test. Great work. The next phrase is watching for someone. This means waiting and looking to see if someone is coming. Example: he stood at the window, watching for his friends. Now repeat, he was watching for danger. Perfect. The next phrase is keep an eye out. This means to watch carefully, to stay alert. Example: keep an eye out for your phone. You lose it a lot. Now repeat, keep an eye out for trouble. Very good. The next word is pale. If someone is pale, their skin looks very white, often because of fear or sickness. Example: she went pale when she heard the bad news. Now repeat, he looked pale. Excellent. The next word is collapse. To collapse means to fall down suddenly because of fear, pain, or exhaustion. Example: the runner collapsed after the race. Now repeat, he collapsed on the floor. Very good. The next phrase is his heart simply gave out. This means his heart stopped working, often because of shock or fear. Now repeat, his heart simply gave out. Excellent. The next word is adventure. An adventure is a fun and exciting journey. Sometimes it can also be dangerous. Example: climbing the mountain was a big adventure. Now repeat, that was a great adventure. Very good. The next word is voyage. A voyage is a long journey by sea. Example: the voyage took many weeks. Now repeat, we went on a long voyage. Excellent. The next word is strict. Strict means someone follows rules carefully and expects others to do the same. Example: our teacher is very strict but fair. Now repeat, he is strict but fair. Very good. The next phrase is take over the ship. This means to gain control of the ship, often by force. Example: the pirates tried to take over the ship. Now repeat, they wanted to take over the ship. Excellent. The next phrase is right away. This means immediately, without waiting. Example: come here right away. Now repeat, come here right away. Great job. And finally, walked off. To walk off means to leave a place, often quietly or without saying anything. Example: he didn't answer, he just walked off. Now repeat, Jim walked off into the forest. Huh? Wonderful. And there you have it. Your vocabulary adventure is complete. This is how your English becomes stronger, step by step. And remember, you do not have to do it alone. We are here to help you in every episode. I'm Maya, and this is the Speed English YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, keep speaking English every day. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.